Oh, who's behind you?
That's a little doggy.
Oh, that's Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Khaleesi
Mother of
herself?
Dragons.
Wow.
Yeah. I adopted her before I knew where that character arc was going.
That's so funny.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I remember when I was a kid, Tom Hanks came on the TV one time, and my parents really trying with all their might to explain to me that was Woody, and I refused to accept it. I could not grasp that grown man was Woody. I'm sort of curious if that's happened with you guys. With you meet parents with their kids, and they try to say, oh, this is, he plays this character, she plays that character, and the kids just can't wrap their brains around it at all.
Yeah, that happens. I've had that happen sometimes.
I would get offended.
Yeah, would you get offended?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had the reverse happen to me where kids have recognized me, and their parents are like, "No, who's that person?"
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
I play Wild Style, and there are not 5-year-olds who understand who I am. However, if I call them on the phone and I talk to them as Wild Style, they're like, oh my God, it's real, it's really her. So when you do it in person, there's a disconnect. But when they just hear it, it usually goes okay. I've done some voicemails for friends' kids, and they love it.
There was an adult who was like getting my wife's attention, and they had a phone, and on the phone was Ducky from Toy Story 4, and they were like, "Is that him?" And they were pointing to the phone going, "Is that him? Is that him?" Which I just thought was so strange that they were just like, that was what they recognized me from.
Amazing.
Yeah, just a picture of the duck on the phone.
Speaking of your voiceover work, so many members of this cast, you guys included, already have history with animation and voiceover work, but a lot of you guys also have great history with R-rated comedy. So I want you to imagine that Migration is both part of your animation filmography and your R-rated comedy filmography. What does Migration look like now?
It could totally be a great R-rated movie.
Well, I know Delroy would be smoking a lot of weed. I mean, he would just have a blunt in his mouth for for 3/4 of the movie.
I mean, more ducks would die in the end.
Yeah, more ducks would die.
And there'd be some, we'd be really getting it on at some point.
Certainly. I think that would definitely be a part of
Right?
it. Yeah.
Right now,
Everyone's
Universal
like-
is so regretting inviting me to this junket. They're like, oh, we've made a huge mistake.
We've made a
Strong
terrible
opener,
mistake.
strong opener. No.
We
This
gotta
is
do
great.
something. Yeah.
My God.
I'm rewriting the R-rated version.
This is great.
There is a great joke in this movie about a character who is very much a hugger and a character who doesn't want to be hugged. And the reason that stood out to me is that I'm a hugger. I really do try to respect and recognize when people don't want to be hugged, because there are a lot of people that do. I'm sort of curious which side of the camp you guys fall on and how you feel about the opposite type of person.
I am a hugger. I'm a hugger, and I try to also the same thing as you, Jake. Right? I really try to read social cues and see if it's okay. But then you get the awful. Sometimes it's too quick, and you don't get the cue, or you don't read the cue, and you get that tango. You know what I mean? Where you try to you don't want to do the hug
Not
tango.
the reluctant hug tango.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not the sexiest dance.
I'm a hugger. I don't mind hugs. But my sister is very much not a hugger, and I find it fascinating just watching her in scenarios.
Negotiate.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not a hugger. I don't need it. I don't need to give them out. But I don't mind if I'm there is a hugger there.
Yeah, you've been very good about that.
Oh no,
You've been wonderful about that.
You mean I say hi, but I'm not someone that's oh my God, and then you stay in the embrace.
Yes,
I don't want to
yeah.
stand. I'm not trying to. I just do kind of a
I like hugging. I just want to make sure that the other person also does. So it's always figuring out is this gonna be weird? Are you gonna go
Is there consent?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing like figuring out mid-hug that the person you're hugging does not want to be hugged, and you
gotta disengage
you can
quick.
just feel it very
There's
quickly.
certain people that
Or there's just a stiff arm, nothing back.
and they're there's that fear in their eyes the moment of oh, I guess this is happening. And there's one person I'm thinking of who I've known for a while, and I still don't know if they like a hug or not.
Right.
And
you
I'm-
kind of have to ask.
I still go in.
I will say this. I just read that oxytocin, which boosts mood and we actually need as humans, is activated by human touch, hugs, and eye contact. We do need to actually
sure.
connect.
Yeah.
And the human touch is necessary, to our being our best selves. So just putting that out there to all you non-huggers in the world.
Yeah, give it up.
knowing we don't need roads.